I chose to do my research on the peppermint plant. Here is its scientific and other common names it goes by. The peppermint plant has shiny green lance-shaped leaves. It also has a purple flower that blooms through the months of July through August. When it's full grown, it gets to be about 2 to 3 feet tall. The peppermint plant was actually first found in England in 1696 in a spearmint field, and it's a crossbreed of spearmint and watermint. Currently, it grows throughout Europe and North America, and this is a picture of where it has been spotted growing in the wild in North America. Peppermint is used in aromatherapy. The smell is said to improve concentration, stimulate the mind and body, decrease inflammation, improve digestion, and relieve stomach pains. Peppermint is also put into many ointments. Some of these ointments can help itching and skin irritation caused by hives, poison ivy, or poison oak. Other ointments can also help sunburn because of the smoothing and cooling effect that peppermint has. Peppermint can also help with tension headaches. A randomized placebo-controlled double-blind crossover study was done to test this. They studied 164 tension headaches that came from a group of 31 men and women, and at the end they concluded that it effectively alleviated the headaches and it was cost efficient compared to other remedies. Peppermint can also help irritable bowel syndrome. There have been multiple studies on these. Randomized controlled trials have repeatedly shown the ability of peppermint oils to relieve symptoms of indigestion and other related symptoms to IRS. Groups have hypothesized that the menthol in peppermint is the main cause of this because of its smooth, relaxing ability. It relaxes muscles surrounding the intent sign, causing there to be smaller chance of spasms and indigestion. A specific study was done in Taiwan. Patients that took the peppermint oil capsules 3 to 5 times a day for 1 month had less abdominal stool frequency, dissertation, and fluctuance than the control group, and almost 80% of patients who took peppermint also had alleviation of abdominal pain. But it should be noted that a few studies have shown no effect. Peppermint is also used in nebulizers. It is suggested that it has benefits of relieving tiredness, depression, makes you more alert, increases your memory, increases cognitive performance, and increases pain tolerance. Peppermint is also put into sprays and inhalants for many things. Here's a list of things that possible sprays and inhalants might help that peppermint is involved in. Here is just another list of benefits that peppermint can help us with. A study I found interesting was that there was research done in 2002 that found a nerve ending that responded to cold and menthol. And this is interesting because menthol is a potent part of peppermint, so this may explain the cooling sensation that menthol/peppermint brings. Peppermint is also used as just flavoring. Here's a list of things that many of us probably use day to day that may contain peppermint in it. One thing that I at least found surprising was the amount of nutrients that is within the peppermint plant. There's actually a high level of all of these when you compare it to the density of the calories that the peppermint plant has. Some possible benefits of having these vitamins in it. is that vitamin A may help decrease the risk of cancer by preventing excessive colon cells proliferation and tumor formation. And then vitamin C is the main antioxidant in the body needed to decrease levels of free radicals that cause damage to cells. And some studies link vitamin C intake to a decreased risk of colon cancer to up to 30%. Other studies have shown that vitamin C intake decreases incidence of colon tumors. Which brings us to our next slide about cancer. There have been studies on cancer in animals that has shown that peppermint has stopped the growth of pancreatic, mammaries, and liver tumors, and that it protects against cancer formation in the colon, skin, and lungs. But these are all animal studies. And the American Cancer website states that there's not enough scientific evidence available to support claims that it's effective as a use for stomach or any other type of cancer, and that scientific evidence does not support claims that peppermint oil is effective in treating side effects related to chemotherapy and radiation. However, it's being looked into what peppermint can do. What it can help out with is during surgery and even after surgery. During surgery, there have been preliminary studies suggesting that direct contact with peppermint oil may reduce spasms in the esophagus and intestines during endoscopies and other procedures. A Japanese study looked at using peppermint oil and putting it directly into the esophagus to reduce spasms in the muscle ring. And they reported that it actually worked quicker than injection of standard antisporotic medicines. A different study suggested that taking peppermint oil by mouth can reduce intestinal spasms during barium enema examinations. It can also help with after surgery. A randomized clinical trial in the UK showed that those who had peppermint oil had less nausea than those who didn't have peppermint oil. It's important to note that this does not work with aromatherapy, however. When they tested this out, there was no more effect than the placebo. If you want to get peppermint from a stir, here's some tips for selecting and stirring it. For fresh leaves, if you buy them from a stir, you should go to local spice stores, organic stores if you have the choice, because they usually have better quality than supermarkets. The fresher leaves are supposedly have more flavor than the dried leaves, and you should look for them that have no dark spots or yellowing. And once you get them, you carefully wrap in a damp paper towel, place loosely inside a closed plastic bag, and keep it refrigerated. And it's said that it will be kept fresh for several days. If you want dried leaves, you keep it in a tightly sealed glass container and place in a cool and dark area. And dried leaves can keep for 9 till 12 months. If you want to collect your own peppermint, this is the information I found on that. You should wait till the plant is at least 6 inches tall and cut the stem just above the lowest set of leaves on the plant. Then to prepare them, you can hang them loosely with the stems upside down in small bunches in a shady location until they dry. And then you strip the leaves and you stir it in an airtight jar in a dark, cool place. And you should not crumple the peppermint before it's ready to use. It also mentioned in one article I read that you could try stirring them in the freezer in butter, oil, or ice cubes, but I don't know how you would do that. If you want to add peppermint into your diet, there are several ways to do that. First, you could put such mint leaves on your salad and add more flavor to it. You could chop mint leaves up and put them in soup. It's suggested a tomato-based soup. Apparently it goes well. Or you could have peppermint tea. And I found directions for making a peppermint tea. It said you need 1 teaspoon of dried leaves, 3 teaspoons of crushed fresh leaves, and then you need 1 cup of boiling water, and you slowly infuse it for 5 to 10 minutes. There are precautions when using peppermint. If you take peppermint, especially this often talked about the peppermint capsules that are used to treat the irritable bowel syndrome, that it may interact with other medicine, and the other medicine may eat up the coated outside of it, and so the peppermint oil may be released into your system before it gets to your intestines, and that can be really hard on you. Patients who have acid reflux and hiatal hernia are suggested to avoid peppermint completely. If you have gallstones or liver damage, you should use with caution. And in some people, strong vapors can cause breathing problems or irritation to the skin. You should never put peppermint on an infant's face or nose. And you should never take peppermint by injection, as it can be fatal. To be noted, there have been a few animal studies that have shown that large doses in rats have caused weakness, seizures, and brain damage, and that methyl, the main active component of peppermint oil, can be fatal in high doses. Because it can be fatal in high doses, I tried to find some recommended usage. The tension headaches, that is recommended by the Medical Center at the University of Maryland, and then all the other ones I have listed are from Germany's regulatory agency for herbs.